Gast bij de Amerikaanse ambassadeur in Nederland, Piet Hoekstra. En ik vroeg hem waarom Trump vicepresident Pence naar Turkije stuurde.
We are very, very discouraged and disappointed by the reactions or the steps that Turkey has taken in Syria. And we believe that in this case, going to Turkey, meeting with Erdogan, and sending the vice president and the secretary of state would signal to Turkey how important the United States felt this issue was and how key we thought it was to the Turkish-United States relationship.
Some say they were flying in to fix the mess the president created.
Well, some can say whatever they want, okay? Obviously, we would not say that. The Middle East has been a complicated fighting ground for decades.
But the situation when Turkey invaded northern Syria happened right after President Trump decided to remove the US troops there.
Right. And after we had been told that Turkey was involved there, after Dutch and other troops had already moved out of Syria. There's a lot of moving pieces, and to say, this is directly related to that, I think is a simplification of exactly what is going on there.
Every military expert, also in Washington, has warned against this, and the Trump administration decided to do so, to still pull out and have Erdogan invade. Why didn't the administration listen to all the generals and all the experts that said, don't do it?
Well, the president is our commander-in-chief. They, in our military system, I don't know how it works in the Dutch military system. In our system, the president's military advisors tell the president what the risks of certain decisions may be, what the opportunities may be, what the costs may be. They do not tell our president of the United States what to do or what not to do.
Well, this past week seems to have been a gift to America's biggest enemies, because now the Assad regime is strengthened, Russia is moving in, IS is rebuilding, Iran is gaining influence in the region, all because of these actions. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate.
It's not accurate.
No, I mean,
Russia is moving in, that's a fact.
Russia has been in Syria, okay? This is not moving
Sure, but they are
in.
now moving into the area that was first controlled as well by the US troops.
All of these, nothing happens in a time window as short as 1 week, 2 weeks. You need to see exactly how this plays out over an extended period of time.
But sir, IS is rebuilding now in this area. IS warriors have been freed because of Erdogan's actions. That is something that must worry you as well.
If ISIS rebuilds, we are leaving U.S. troops in Syria to confront ISIS. Our long-term objectives are to keep the pressure on organizations like ISIS and Al-Qaeda to make sure that they do not rebuild. Our intentions are to keep pressure on Syria and ultimately remove forces that are supportive of Iran in Syria. So that is where we are headed in the long term. Okay. Now, I think it's fair to say, for you as a Dutch news person, to say that all of these actions are America's fault. Okay? It was the Dutch that decided a few months ago to move out of Syria, to begin the domino effect of people leaving the region and saying, we don't need to stay in Syria. And I'm assuming the Dutch moved out because the threat, they no longer perceived the threat. But as soon as the United States does something that our European allies have done, all of a sudden it becomes America's fault that things are happening in the Middle East. And so if Europe doesn't want to take any responsibility and blame America, that is something that Europe is free to do.
So you're saying that 200,000 innocent people that have been displaced now, the hundreds of deaths, credible reports of war crimes, ISIS prisoners are escaping, are all the Netherlands' fault? Is that what you're saying?
I said Europe shares a responsibility.
Right.
You said it's all the fault, that I said it was all the fault of the Dutch.
I was asking
I'm sorry,
for
no, you were not
clarification,
asking.
sir.
No.
I was asking
You
for
are putting
clarification.
words into my mouth, and this is the same news error we have seen before.
Okay, so now we've got it settled. So it's both. It's a shared responsibility. That is what you're saying. I just want to make it clear. I'm just here to clarify. A shared responsibility. Question mark.
Question mark. There was a shared responsibility. We have an anti-ISIS coalition. We had a Syria coalition that were working, and certain countries decided that the work was done, or that their participation in those activities was done.
What do you expect from the Dutch now? What do you want the Dutch to do?
No, we know what the Dutch, we wanted the Dutch to stay in and to stay part of the coalition in Syria, especially in December.
So now it's too little too late.
Well, can I finish?
Sure.
You know, last December, the president said at that time we were going to pull out of Syria. And the Dutch very much said that is a major mistake.
Many people have said that.
Right.
Even a lot of your Republican colleagues in Washington have said that.
Yeah. Can I go on? Okay.
Of course, please.
And the president changed his position. And we kept our troops in Syria. The question was then asked of me about whether I thought the Dutch would stay in Syria. And I said, well, they felt so strongly that the United States needed to stay in Syria. I think that they will stay in Syria. And the Dutch pulled out.
So again, Europe has a shared responsibility with the US, in your view, for what happened.
Yes.
But isn't it true that the situation escalated when President Trump decided to pull out the troops and then have Erdogan invade the northern part of Syria?
The last few days have been difficult. There's no question about that. And the United States has responded with sanctions against Turkey. We've engaged diplomatically with Turkey to address the situation.
Ambassadeur Piet Hoekstra. En voor alle duidelijkheid, Nederland was alleen in Syrië actief met missies van de luchtmacht vanuit Irak. Er zijn nooit Nederlandse grondtroepen in Syrië geweest. En verzoeken daarvoor van de Amerikaanse kant, die zijn altijd afgehouden. Nederland stond en staat kortom niet te springen om militair ingrijpen in het Midden-Oosten. En wie naar een onthulling van vandaag kijkt, die begrijpt misschien ook beter waarom. Want het was een van de bloedigste